Hi everyone, I'm Bradley Justice, and this is my friend Chris Madrid, and we are reminiscing our long ago dreams and wishes, looking at a vintage Sears Wishbook and looking at the fabulous doll pages. Now, Chris, I don't know about you, but when I was little, it seems like around September, October of each year, in the mail, the Sears Wishbook would arrive, and I would spend hours and hours and hours dreaming about what I might get for Christmas.
Oh, we spent, the pages looked like this when it was new.
More and
Yeah.
and did you circle things
We circled things, and we also, because I had two sisters, we decided we couldn't have the same things. So then we had to, we had to bargain to who would be able to
who was
get
going
what.
to get that item? Well, the amazing thing is these wonderful catalogs sort of preserve and showcase some of the amazing dolls and toys that were available back a long time ago. And so it's really cool to kind of collect and see some of these things now. And I know you've brought a lot of things from your collection. So do you want to take a look at what we've got on display?
Sure.
And talk about some of this amazingness.
So basically, I think we should talk about the beginning. I think everybody knows Sears catalogs, but they were started in 1892, and they basically sold everything. But the idea was to bring everything to the farmer, the people who lived in rural communities, so they could have city clothes. But they sold tractors. They sold
everything.
Houses.
They did sell
yeah.
a house.
Houses.
You could get everything that you needed from Sears.
I know, everything. And if you look at some of these catalogs still, even in the 60s and 70s, they had everything. They had, Smithfield ham. On one page, they had a fruitcake and a shoe shine box on the same page, because those go together. And the clothes and appliances, guns,
everything. So I think it was probably in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken, they actually coined a special catalog that was the Wishbook.
Yes.
And so that was kind of appealing to the holiday gift-giving season. And we actually have a fairly early version of the Sears catalog, and it's just showing some of the dolls that were available, Flossie Flirt, and these wonderful sort of Patsy style dolls that are probably made by American character. I think that one's Sally and Dainty Dorothy. So they offered a lot of wonderful things I'm sure the children of that time period were dreaming of. And so we're showing off our wonderful F&B Patsy here from that era. So she's such a treasure. And the catalog from this period, and the prices just seem all over the place, from like $1 for a doll to a very expensive doll at $6.95. I'm sure that would have been a luxury item.
Very much so. And the interesting thing is too, through the whole history of that catalog, they would have the very expensive dolls, the splashy dolls, but then they would have a page that would have beginner dolls or more budget dolls,
right.
So that they
appeal to the whole market.
Right. So it would be, someone could look at the catalog and wish for something big and splashy, but mom and dad would actually be able to get them something from the catalog that was reasonably priced.
So I wanted to start over here because this was kind of unique when I was peeking behind this box. So this is Maribel Getwell. So
Yes.
Tell me about Maribel.
So Maribel Getwell, I believe she's a Madame Alexander. And this is interesting to talk about because in the 40s, there were some Madame Alexander dolls, the more composition and everything. But as you get further on, they do have Madame Alexander dolls, but not a lot of them. And part of the reason why is Madame Alexander was extremely popular, and they required that wholesale buyers, buy large quantities, or you would have to give them a lot of money, and then you would get what you would get, and that didn't really work for Sears model.
Because that catalog was going to probably millions of people, And if they all decided they wanted a Mirabelle, they had to be able to supply it. So it's interesting. She comes with crutches, the cast, these little spots that are measles.
Yes, measles, yes.
Now that's really cool. And then the Johnson and Johnson bandages. So it sounds like she was either clumsy or.
Well, Michael had a theory that polio.
Yeah, there was a polio epidemic that was
And so
a realistic thing.
So people were very aware of that. The interesting thing, because we had talked about, but Maribel, I think, made a debut in 1958, and Maribel kept showing up year after year.
So she was very popular.
Yes, she was very popular, and then about 4 or 5 years into it, all of a sudden she was like $10.98, which is a lot of money for her.
Yeah, that was an expensive job.
Then all of a sudden another clumsy girl came around. She was only $3.98. Yeah, so
she got underpriced.
She got undercut. So anyway, she's a really cute doll, and I mean it's amazing the detail of the crutches and everything that were given.
Yeah, they're very realistic.
I love the measles.
I think that's very very clever. What a fun thing. So, along with Sears, there were other companies that had mail order catalogs. Now, this we never got, but this is F.E.O. Schwartz, which was the wonderful New York retailer that was on Fifth Avenue, the luxury toy store. And in this catalog, I see the wonderful Poor Pitiful Pearl with her outfit was available in their catalog. So tell me about Pearl.
So Pearl was available in 2 sizes. This is the 11-inch one. I think the first years I think it was 58 through 63, I believe. But she also was in the Sears catalog. But she was a cartoon. And that little cartoon book is still in there, and I didn't open it up because it's still attached to the box. But she was created by a cartoonist who wrote the book, and his last name was Stiggy. And interestingly enough, he wrote a story that became the basis for the Shrek movies.
Oh wow! So generations have enjoyed some of his creations.
And so she was quite popular. And in the book, they show her as she's very poor, and then she comes and they're clean, putting a little ponytail and a bow on her hair, and
so she has like the little ragged dress, and then she has the fancy pink dress.
And you do see it with a blue dress too, and there's, like I said, there's 2 different sizes. But interesting that when I pulled this out, this is my sister's doll, and it was like all, yellowed and everything, and I thought, somebody just put the tape on there, but that's actually the way it came.
It originally came that way. Wow.
Yeah, but I just think it's so interesting that this cartoonist had such a long career that he actually...
That's so he kind of touched generations. And this was made by Horseman, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. It actually was made by a different maker, but Horseman made this version.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I'm pointing this doll out because as a kid, I remember this page from one of the Sears Wish booklets where it talked about the Ferga dolls of Italy, and these seem to be the most luxurious and fancy dolls to my 8-year-old brain. So tell me about this doll. She's kind of fabulous.
I know. She's from the 70s, and it seemed like Sears had a lot of business with some of the Italian doll makers, and I didn't actually know that Ferga was in business from 1892.
Wow.
I know, but a lot of the dolls never made it to the United States. But these dolls, Sears must have had a big contract with them because, the 50s they didn't have as much. As they get to the 60s, early 60s, and the 70s. These were like the showstopper dolls in the catalog with the big dresses and the big hair, and we had to practically, she was molting all over the place.
Feathers are kind of all over the place.
But these were the money shot dolls right here, and I always coveted one. And clearly, you know what I would call this, an auntie or grandmother doll?
Right.
Be-
And this would have been the doll that if you got it, your mom would have said, this is a special doll, you can't play with it. Would have lived on top of your dresser. So although we were kind of dreaming of it, I'm kind of glad we didn't get it. We couldn't have played with it.
And it's interesting because if you go on eBay or you go places, you do see them in fairly good condition. Those dolls in '63, I believe they were $25.
Yeah, these dolls are like $20 and $30,
I know.
and that would have been a very, very expensive doll of that time.
I know it.
When you probably could have got, in the same catalog, you probably could have got Beautiful Chrissy by Ideal for probably $7.
I know.
So fabulous, and she just looks sort of Christmas. So
yeah, she
I love
does,
her.
and that was something that Sears did really well. Is that they would have a few dolls on the big splashy color page.
Right. So I want to talk to you now about one of my childhood memories, and that is this doll.
That's what I was afraid of. Man down.
So we'll talk about this doll. This Barbie, we're going to swirl her around so we can take a peek at her, is wearing an outfit that was sold in the Sears Wishbook in 1974. And my 4-year-old self remembers seeing the image of this outfit and just thinking it was completely spectacular. This red satin and trimmed with fur, and this sheer skirt, and this wonderful little purse. And I just had no inkling of how other than wishing to get it from Santa, how it would ever arrive. So it's on a Sweet 16 Barbie from 1974, and this sort of combination is sort of like the dream gift that I never got as a kid that I've made up for as an adult, of course. But this was available in the Sears catalog, and it was the biggest image on the page, so it was something to dream of. So that's probably the first time I remember seeing like a Sears Wishbook, and becoming a staple that time of year of looking at things. So this little baby looks well loved. So who is this?
That is a Tiny Tears, and that's a Tiny Tears from 1950.
Oh wow! So it's an early one.
A very early one. It has the hard head, and this was actually my sister's doll.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, so she was well loved and well played with. I think we should go back and talk about Barbie and the big misstep that Sears took.
So at Toy Fair in 1959, when Barbie was rolled out, buyers didn't react too favorably to her, and Sears didn't buy her for the catalog.
Unbelievable.
Other retailers, including Montgomery Ward's, did, and when the holiday time came around and little kids from all over the country were demanding Barbie, Sears couldn't deliver. And I have a feeling that someone probably lost their job for that, because that was the best-selling doll of that year. So, I think that was a huge faux pas.
Really, and next year this poor doll, the 1960 catalog, she had. Let me just walk away from here. It's live, people. But they had a big splash.
Yes, they had every single thing that had Barbie's name on it. They had it.
Yes.
The everything. So they made up for lost time with Barbie. And the other thing that they started doing was working with Mattel to have Sears exclusives. So there were fashions and dolls that were only available at Sears. Those are highly coveted by collectors.
And the other thing too, with these catalogs, what an amazing resource for Barbie collectors in particular, because of all the different outfits that were offered.
It's
and
a
the
great
years.
point of reference. It's a great reference, and I have a huge collection of these in my sort of archive that I always go back to, and it not only helps identify Barbie and Barbie fashions, but they also sold a lot of the clone fashions that were made by sort of knockoff brands. So it's good to kind of get a look at those to know what was available and what it was. So it's a great identifying resource.
And it's interesting because Barbie stayed popular for so long that it was amazing how many pages were devoted to Barbie and Barbie products and Barbie houses and cars and Ken and Skip.
Family and everything. Sears really did it up. So back to the late 50s. I see you've got Shirley Temple hiding back here.
I do have Shirley Temple. This is Shirley's. This is a 19-inch Shirley Temple.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my Shirley Temple.
Ah. I'm going to help you hold her.
Yeah, and this one's actually a 19-inch. They came 15, they came 17, 19, and then when the whole Patty Play Pal thing came along,
right,
they were 30 to 36 inches. But the resurgence in interest for Shirley Temple came from Shirley Temple's storybook.
She did a television show.
Yeah. It ran from like 1957, 1958 to like 1960. Mm-hmm. And so that's when these dolls became really popular. And you see a lot of them in like storybook costumes, but they also did these wonderful things. So I think this was another one that Uncle Bernie bought me that he didn't know he was buying.
So, made by Ideal. And so this is a tag dress. So this is kind of a wonderful dress. So it's always fun to kind of see original clothing so you can kind of take a look at what originally came on the doll. But she's a wonderful doll. She's vinyl, all vinyl.
Yeah, all vinyl. And the 19-inch isn't as there were a lot of 15-inch, and if you look in the Sears catalogs, there's a lot of 15 inches that also have the wardrobes with them.
Now does she have the flirty eyes? Does she?
No.
Okay,
she just looks right at you.
So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I know.
So she's
Be
really
straightforward.
charming. Oh yeah, she's very straightforward. So she's a wonderful doll.
Is she nice? She's really nice. I loved her. Really, I still love her.
Well, how can you not?
I know.
She's
Shirley Temple.
America's sweetheart.
I know.
So
oh, and that was her purse.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute? Yeah. Oh, oh wait. Oh, I'll be darned.
She has a pen.
She's a pen.
The funniest little things are hiding around. That's really cool.
Things, yeah.
So I love little surprises like that.
I do too.
I see one of my little friends here, Betsy McCall. I love Betsy.
Betsy McCall, yeah. Betsy McCall was part of the McCall magazine, and they did the paper dolls and all the stories. And she actually was probably in competition. We didn't practice this. You might have caught that. Competition to the Ginny dolls.
Right.
And she is really funny because my sister and I got Ginny dolls for Christmas, and my cousin got a Betsy McCall, and we were super jealous that she got Betsy McCall.
Well, she's just such a little pixie of a doll. So.
And great. She has great clothes.
She's articulate. She's hard plastic.
Yes.
Made by American Character.
She has a lot of clothes, and then they did make them larger.
Right.
I personally prefer the little ones.
Well, she's such a little pixie.
I
mean, what a little doll you could just kind of carry with you everywhere. She's very sweet. And she kind of has that same sort of look that the paper doll had at the time.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a really
sweet.
Good representation of the doll, as a matter of fact.
So is this the Jenny that you got when you were little?
No, I got myself this Jenny because I love Jenny. I had to get, it's like one of those things where you have dolls and you tell yourself, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to buy it. But I've always loved Jenny, and I had Jennies as a kid.
Such a great, they're a great size.
Yes.
And the wardrobe and just the whole history of them is just
they're
amazing.
Wonderful. And they're, and they're very, the clothes are very evocative of what a real kid would wear.
Oh, absolutely. I used to go to a hairdresser, and I was sitting next to a lady one time, and she told me the story that her mother was a stay-at-home mom. Then she picked up work in Massachusetts sewing for the Vogue doll company in the 1950s. And so when her mom came for a visit that year for Christmas, she made her mom come over and talk to me about it. And so when her daughter walked out, the woman said, well, I didn't work for them very long. I really wasn't that good at it. So I was all excited to meet someone that had sewed for Vogue, but apparently she only did it on a limited basis. So it's funny to make those connections in history. So did they sell Jenny in this year's catalog?
They sold Jenny, but they typically didn't make it into the Wishbook. But if you looked in their winter catalog, there were a lot of Ginnies, but for some reason they didn't really put them in the wish book because I was looking for them. I was really disappointed. And it's like we were doing this program, so I bought myself one anyway.
Oh, absolutely. And also Vogue is sort of an interesting company that they kind of felt that they didn't need to do sort of like the promotion like other companies. Like they never did like a television commercial.
Oh, really? I didn't
So
know that.
it's interesting that they were a very successful, very popular company, but they didn't fall into some of the things that some of these other companies did, like advertising extensively. So
Right. So you don't see them, and if you don't see these as much. But like I said, I did find in one of the Christmas catalogs that they did have them in there.
So I know that there are always pages of cute little baby dolls in the catalog. So who is this?
This is Cupcake.
And who made Cupcake?
Cupcake is F&B.
Ah.
And this was actually, this one and another one was the last doll I ever got.
Oh, it's sweet.
I know.
What a cute little face.
It's really cute. So it came in like pink, just a little like a pink ruffle panties, and this was one of the outfits that you could buy for 97 cents for the doll.
Wonderful. So, F&B, great American doll manufacturer, and just very sweet. They had great sculpts, so I love this little face.
She cute. And then we have, this is one of the Italian dolls. I don't know which one that is.
So she's got her name on her skirt. What does that say?
Boncina?
Boncina?
Boncina. So she's Italian. But that was also one of my last dolls.
So here's a page from the Sears Wishbook that shows some of the wonderful dolls that were available that year. And the very bottom is Kitty by Bonami of Italy. And she was available for $7.99. And you have Kitty here. So this is the Bonami doll. And Bonami, I'm aware of them from the early 50s. They were made in hard plastic. And I have some of their dolls. Now this one is in vinyl. So she's got a very interesting expression.
Yeah, it's funny because people talk about dolls being too sexy now. I mean, that's quite a little pouch she's going on there. And that doll, she came with a wardrobe, and that is one of the original outfits.
Oh, really? It's very stylish with the little piping. It's a cute little summer set. But she was made by Bonami, which is also Italian. So, I always talk Barbie, and so I am very fond of Barbie, and so anything that Mattel does, I kind of love. So I'm gonna pull out your Drowsy. And this is like the first year of Drowsy that has the kitty cat pajamas, isn't it?
Yes.
So, and they made Drowsy for many, many, many years. Here she is in this catalog page. She was a talking doll.
Yeah, she doesn't talk anymore.
She doesn't have much to say.
I know. Drowsy actually went to college with me.
Oh, that is funny. I love that. Well, the thing that we always love is when we kind of know a history. So this was one of the first heads that was sculpted at Mattel by Martha Armstrong Hand.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So she was a Niata artist, and she was a very successful sculptor. She not only created a lot of dolls for Mattel, she also created her own artist dolls and was very successful at it. They used this mold for Casper the Ghost, that was a talking doll, and a clown that was called Patootie. But it's a very sweet sculpt. This sort of half painted eyes. It's so drowsy. It's so sleepy, and but I remember it used to say things like, "I want a drink of water," and those funny little sayings like any little kid that was having to go to bed would say. But I love these sort of kitty cat pajamas. That's really sweet. And it has like the little buttons at the back. It's like a sleeper onesie kind of thing.
The thing with those dolls is that she's in decent condition. But can you imagine? I mean, because if you had some hard play, you couldn't wash those dolls very well.
No, you couldn't. And the talking mechanism, which was one of the patents that was held by Jack Ryan, who was an engineer and inventor that worked at Mattel. They were designed to be durable, but the ravages of time and sometimes an extra dunk in the bathtub,
That'll do it. That's what
that would take care of it. Yeah. So that's really a charming doll, very sweet. And then lounging at the very back, and our final little doll is Kissy. What a pretty doll. That face is gorgeous.
It really is a sweet doll. Has kind of a funny story. My mother only bought dolls that she liked the faces of, so we couldn't get a Kissy because she didn't like the face of a Kissy.
Oh,
so
how could you not love that sweet
I know,
face?
but I bought this for my sister like 10 years ago
Aw.
because she didn't get her Kissy.
That is so funny. So I know that you pulled her arms close together and she made a little pucker and a kiss sound. And that's her original dress. It still has the tag on it. What an amazing doll. So once again, that was made by Ideal, right?
Yeah, she was made by Ideal. She's a darling. I mean, she really is a cute doll. And I do have my American character Toodles doll, one of those 30-inch ones, but
Right.
she needed a little more beauty shop than I was willing to invest. So.
Well, I don't know about you, but this has kind of given me a lot of fuel for my letter to Santa Claus this year.
I know.
I think I'm gonna start, just pouring through this and start writing my letter because this brings back so many good memories and so much nostalgia.
I know.
I hope I've been good enough to get something from Santa this year. So, but the good thing about it being a grown-up, even if I haven't been good, if I've been bad, I can get it for myself. So, but we wish you a great holiday season, and thanks for tuning in with us with the World Doll Day celebration, and hope you're enjoying your time with us.
Yes, and I hope all your Christmas wishes come true.